Welcome back. So, we had a question from Jake Jamoni asking how to avoid low punches. So what that means is if someone is trying to hit your crown jewels. So we're going to show you what to do and how to protect that. So first thing is you need to really observe and see what's going on, right? If someone is trained in punching, if someone is trained in kicking, there are always ways and sort of stands how you could be to be able to protect that, or at least sort of not get the full impact of that. So I've watched a few videos on boxing and MMA fighting and stuff like that about these nasty sort of punches and kicks that really sort of destroy every man, no matter how strong and big you are. If you get kicked in the nuts, you're done for, mate. So that's it. So we're gonna have to look at this in a detail, how you can protect this. So so when I watch some of the boxing videos, the way you obviously cannot punch someone from here because the boxers are moving, you know, back and forth. So what usually happens is the guys kind of end up close, and then one of them just hooks the other one into the nuts. So how can you avoid this? If you just move your hips so they are here, it's going to be harder for them to get through. So I'm not saying you should be, you know, you should be standing that way all the time, but just try to remember that sort of thing. If someone is really close to you, the danger thing is that they're going to get you in nuts, or they're just going to take your feet and lift you up. So remember that. When I watch some of the MMA videos, how they get to being kicked in the nuts is that they just stand straight. So the opponent, whatever, if it's intentional or not, they just go either this or they just go under. Yeah. So again, if you just slightly tilt your hips, it's gonna be harder to get around, right? Yeah, sure, of course you can go this way, but then you could counter that by moving your hip even more forward. So I know this is not boxing, this is not takedown in boxing. Maybe in MMA you might get away with this, but we're talking about the practicality of if that happens to you on the street or in a real fight. So we get there, we got low, we kind of clenched, and so we here, instead of me letting him just to get me down there, what I'm doing is I lower this hand down so I can reach for his head, and I can pull his head towards me. He's completely off posture. I can just drop him down on the floor if I want to, or I could just drop him here and just punch him a couple of times. So when it comes to kicking, what you want to avoid is that sort of thing. You're done for. So two things in here. One, when you obviously have to be trained and prepared, so you're watching what's going on. He's coming in, I'm just clenching my knees together, and of course I have to protect myself, but he's actually off posture more than I am at the moment. So I just go in and just take him down in a nice tenchinagi way. Another thing that you can do is you just control the movement of your hips. So when you turn this around, when he's kicking straight, he's gonna miss. And I'm in the perfect place to just take him off completely. Yeah, so I could go even for the other foot, just leave it there and just get into him completely. He goes head down first. So we get there. So here you can see my leg is behind him. What that does, he's actually completely off. So you can imagine what the real application of this would be. So in conclusion, be ready, protect those crown jewels, because if there are few points or areas in your bodies that can be used to take anyone down, this is one of them. Once you get kicked, punched, whatever in there, you're done. So you need to be aware of how to protect these precious areas. So hopefully you enjoy this, and we'll see you next week.